Life can be monotonous. You can get stuck in a rut very easily, which can make someone feel very apathetic to their own life, making them feel like they have no real control. Boys Abyss takes that feeling and makes it its central conflict for its story. A story that was really well crafted, but along the lines, it loses itself. Our story starts with the main character being asked what he wants to do when he gets out of high school, and he says that he has to go into the workforce. It is revealed that this is because he can't leave the town. This is because he wants to stay behind and help his mom take care of his brother and his grandma. He kind of feels bad for leaving her in a situation where she would have to take care of both of them. He's a little saddened though because all his friends are going to be leaving and going to college while he's going to be stuck in this small town. Due to that, he's kind of become very apathetic to his situation, thinking that this is his life and there's nothing that he can do about it. Everything has been decided for him. Until he runs into his favorite idol, who tells him that she's taking a break from being an idol and is using his town to lay low. After they talk for a little bit and she realizes that he isn't a serial stalker that's going to murder her, she asks for him to give her the tour of the town. And it's during this tour that he kind of reveals his home life to her and how he's very unhappy, but he has to be content with his life because what other choice does he have? And like a very normal, insane person, she asks him if he wants to do a lover's suicide with her. And our main character, actually being smart, says no to this random stranger that he has just met. She then suggests, okay, how about we just go back to my place and play Smash Brothers instead? So they go back to her place to play Smash Brothers instead. Oh, but he forgot his Joy-Con. So, instead they're just going to have a nice conversation on her bed. And then he realizes something, that she's a person, that she's also a human being. They didn't have sex. But then her husband walks in. Oh wait, no, he's a cuck. Okay, it doesn't matter. That was the first four chapters, and that is the catalyst of our story, is him meeting these two characters and how these two characters are going to basically influence this small little town and its inhabitants. Now, I can get all philosophical and deep with you and tell you how this story changed my life, and reading it was so amazing, but this is a story that features a yandere teacher, so it's not that deep. It is, however, an interesting manga to me due to the fact that the three main characters essentially experience the same emotion and the same problem, but they go about it so differently, making this very unique and complex story for each one of them. Which is interesting, because the emotion that they're really feeling is just apathy, an emotion that basically is just the feeling of nothing, to not care. But how each character's complex story is portrayed, their emotion kind of ranges differently in how they are expressing it in their own unique way. Like our main character Reggie, who adopts the idol's ideology that living for oneself is extremely hard, living for others is easy. But living for others means that you have no reason to live, so what's the point? If you're just doing what people are telling you, why live at all? And he adapts this philosophy. So he goes, okay, there is something I want to do then. I want to listen to you. If I'm going to listen to anybody, I'll listen to you. I'll listen to your request. We'll do the lover's suicide. He's doing it because he thinks that this is a decision that he is making for himself, not really realizing that, no, you're just listening to another person now, a person that you think you love. What's interesting about this, though, is that she realizes this herself. And so she decides that she's going to leave. She's not going to let him make the same mistake that she has made, which leaves him again going back to living for his friends and his mother and not really living for himself. Again, he feels as if he has no real reason to live. He's just doing what other people are telling him to do. And so as the story kind of goes on, we see him go through the motions of what does it mean to live? What is my purpose in life? What do I want to do? And so he decides what he kind of wants to do is help his friends get out of the town to live their lives, because they're going through a similar problem as him. They feel like their lives aren't their own. So he's like, I know what you're going through. And if I can't get out of town, if I can't live for myself, then at least I'll protect and help you so you can achieve what you want to do with your life. Plan has a few flaws. The first being that his friends are different in how they want to handle the situation. The first friend is basically lashing out and is just extremely violent. He takes it out on Reggie in the sense that if you're miserable and I'm miserable, misery loves company, we'll be fine together. When he tries to force Reggie into a life he doesn't want and this ultimately fails, he just lashes out more. Meanwhile, his other friend Chaku basically gets main character energy, or at least she's trying to get main character energy. She wants to assert herself and basically stop being a side character in her own life. She wants to take control of her own life. And she tries to do this by essentially becoming somebody that she thinks that Reggie could love. And when this doesn't work, she feels as if she has completely lost control of her life. She's not the main character. She'll never be the main character. And so she just decides to rot away. She'd rather die and be remembered than be some sort of side character in her own life. And like I said, the story of these three were the most interesting part of the manga to me. I think Ryo Minanami did a fantastic job with these three and the story that they were trying to tell. The problem is the manga as a whole has a big pacing issue. Ryo kind of went on tangents that really did not matter, focusing on storylines that were just kind of bizarre and ruined the tone of the manga. And then it didn't help that the characters kind of didn't act like themselves during these tangents. Their emotions kind of flip-flopped a lot, which kind of ruined any character development they had at that point, but then they would flip back to where they were character development wise. And it just kind of threw me off a little bit as I was reading it. And then all of this kind of culminates to an ending that was very lackluster. This is due to the fact, again, because of the pacing, because the main story basically takes a backseat a lot of times. By the time that we do get back to the main plot, the mangaka kind of started rushing through it just a little bit, and by a little bit I mean a lot. Basically the entire main plot is resolved in 3 chapters, and then it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Mind you, the entire manga is 183 chapters, and I honestly don't think it needs to be. Maybe 130, maybe 140, if you removed all the fluff that was just not necessary. It does make me wonder what went wrong, because I could tell from the first couple chapters that Ryu really had the story kind of planned out. They knew what was kind of happen as the story progressed. My best guess is because this was a weekly manga, that probably got to Ryu. I can understand the stress of trying to write a very complex story like this week by week. But I think even with this major problem, the manga succeeds in its mission in making you reflect. It made me reflect on these characters and the situation they were going through, and the overall message of the manga that one's life is their own and they should live life how they want to. It doesn't matter what other people say you should do or what others think of you. And I think that's a very beautiful message, and I think Ryu is going to learn from the mistakes of Boys Abyss's writing and create an even better story in the future. And when they do, I'll definitely give it a read. And that is all I have to say. What do you guys think about this manga? Did you read it? Let me know down in the comments below. And that's going to be it for me. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Catch you guys later. Bye-bye.